I made another account on
Dark Souls 2 has its moments of awesomeness. If you're a fan of the Souls series or challenging games in general, you really owe it to yourself to check them out. They've given me an experience I'll never forget. Hello there, I'm Snowman, and thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can subscribe for more analytical content on this channel, or check out more Neato videos here. If you want to support the channel, you can follow me on Twitter, or you can consider donating through Patreon. Huge thanks to Rasputin for helping me with this one. His input made it so much better. Check his channel out as well. I'll see you guys next time. Stay frosty, my friends. Dark Souls is easily one of my favorite games of all time. It made me feel things I've never felt playing a game before. There's a certain magic and fluidness to the design, and yes, of course, it's stupidly hard, but it's hard in all the right ways. I've never felt more rewarded when I took down an unbelievably hard boss for the first time. The controls felt very smooth, so if you got hit, it was your own fault. The entire game is based on learning the patterns of your enemy and overcoming super difficult challenges that stand in your way. I always thought it was really lame and unrealistic in games when hordes of enemies would stand around and take turns while you hit an enemy one at a time. Like, why don't they all fight you at once and gang up on you? Dark Souls was the first game I've ever seen that actually did this. You never want to run into an ambush, guns a-blazing, because you're going to get totally rocked. You're not some superhero with over health and strength. You're a normal guy. In fact, a puny guy compared to some of these bosses. That's why it's so rewarding. It seems impossible at first glance, and you probably will die the first few times, but you learn and put new tactics to use and defeat what seemed like an insurmountable foe. So as you could imagine, I was looking forward to Dark Souls 2 more than almost any game this year. Now, after beating both games, I thought it'd be neat to compare the two and see what they've improved and what they did better in the first game. The short answer is that Dark Souls 2 is a very good sequel, but I want to talk about why. I figured the best way to do this would be to split up our review into different categories. Let's start with the story, so obvious spoilers ahead. Dark Souls was never a series that put the story right in the face. If you wanted to truly learn about the lore of the game, you had to look at item descriptions and talk to NPCs, and even then you had to put a lot of the puzzle pieces together yourself. Despite the fact that it's well hidden, the lore of the Dark Souls universe is extremely deep and vast. Essentially, the first game takes place in Lordran, and your mission is to fight Lord Gwyn, because you're the chosen undead to take his throne. It's eerie as you defeat it because of the somber music, and it's very unclear if you really won. Maybe you were actually the bad guy all along. The ending is vague and short, leaving you to fill in the blanks. The second game tells its story through basically the same method, very little actual storytelling. The game takes place in Drangleic, but without getting too deep into it, some people think this new world is Lordran many years in the future. Some signs that point to this theory are the hints to the Duke from the first game, similarities between the Lost Bastille and the Undead Asylum, and other fairly hidden things. If this is the case, it's changed names and rulers over many centuries. You're told to destroy the king of Drangleic, but once you find him, you realize he's not the real threat. He walks around aimlessly, and the real evil was his wife, Chandra. There is some foreshadowing, but unless you're really looking for what's going on in this place, it may catch you by surprise. You may not even recognize Chandra when you actually fight her. The ending is just as vague and confusing as the first game, but that's part of its charm. You have to decide for yourself how you feel about it and what it all means. The cool part is how unbelievably deep it is when you really start to dig into it. There are many other sites and channels that cover Dark Souls lore better than I could, but my point is that the story of Dark Souls isn't essential to enjoy the game, and it's easy to skip if you want to just get to the action. But if you want a truly deep and interesting plot, it's there too. Gameplay. This is the core of what makes Dark Souls great and where it truly shines. I mentioned before that the first game had really great controls, and they didn't really deviate from this for Dark Souls 2. Everything you've learned about dodging, attacking, and strategy from the first game comes into play here. There's a wide variety of classes, weapons, armor, and items, so you basically can take the game in whatever direction you want. Want to be a sorcerer? Great. Want to be a dual-wielding barbarian? Go for it. Want to be naked? Well, there is a starting class for that. Dark Souls 2 is much more streamlined than the first game. This is due to two major changes in the gameplay, humanity and the Estus flask. In Dark Souls 1, you had a humanity meter that increased every time you consumed a humanity. You could then use this to become human, increase the number of Estus flasks you had, or just have a high humanity count to increase drop rates of items. It didn't feel clunky until they got rid of it in the second game. Now human effigies, which replaced humanity, only serve one purpose: to make you human again. You're encouraged to be human more in the sequel because every time you die, you lose a little bit of your maximum health until you get down to 50%. I didn't like this mechanic at first, but human effigies are very plentiful in this game, so it doesn't feel like you'll ever be stuck with half health and no way to fix it. Plus, this change in gameplay does two things. It encourages you to play smarter because there's more punishment for death, but it also encourages you to stay human, which gives you extra benefits, such as being able to summon help. I went through the entire first game without ever becoming human because there wasn't really a reason to, and the game was super hard as a result. In a way, Dark Souls 2 is helping you out by nudging you in the direction of staying human. Second, the Estus flasks are much more progressive in their usefulness. If you haven't played Dark Souls, this item is your main way of recovering your health. Take a swig and you're good to go. In Dark Souls 2, you only start with one Estus until you find more flask shards. But it's okay because they also introduce life gems, which heal yourself at a slower rate, so you can use these instead to conserve your Estus. Some of these flash shards are along the main path of the game, but some are hidden. This encourages exploration, which is a major strength of the game, by the way, because you want to find upgrades for your Estus and equipment. You don't need a lot of Estus uses in the beginning when the game is pretty easy, but as you progress to harder parts of the game, you find more flask shards, thus giving you more uses of your flask. In the first game, you had to use precious humanity to make certain bonfires give you more Estus charges. Now it feels like you're growing stronger as a player the farther you progress. Another big change is durability to your weapons and armor. I hated this change when I started Dark Souls 2. I didn't like having another thing to watch and manage. But as I got further in the game, it was sort of a non-issue. Only maybe once or twice did my weapon become close to breaking, and then I could just switch to another weapon until I got to a bonfire, which will automatically repair the durability. This opened up the possibility for new hazards in the game, like this yellow goopy stuff that ruins the durability of your equipment really quickly. Yeah, it's gross. Personally, I just think it added more depth and realism to the game. Fallout 3 did the same thing, and I hated it at first, but once you get used to it, it just becomes part of the experience. Overall, I think they took what worked well in the first game and just improved on it here. Fighting still feels great and challenging as you learn these new enemies' patterns. It's simpler. More simple? Simplified. Simplify? You don't have to get a million different embers just to upgrade your equipment. It's right there from the get-go. Leveling up is easier, and the overall experience is less convoluted. The map especially feels straightforward and easy to know where you're going. Okay, what's next on the list? Oh, map and layout. Whoops, I kinda jumped the gun a bit there. There's no doubt that Dark Souls 2 is much bigger than Dark Souls 1. A huge change implemented in the new game is fast traveling to any bonfire you've already been to. This is a very welcome addition, and a necessary one at that because of how large the map is and how it's laid out. In Dark Souls 1, the map was extremely interconnected and you unlocked shortcuts to new areas all the time. But this was needed for that game because you had to travel by foot to get you where you wanted to go until the late game when you finally did unlock fast traveling. The Master Key was an amazing item because you could unlock shortcuts earlier than you were supposed to and travel around the world easier. But this became a moot point in the second game by incorporating fast travel from the very beginning. The layout of Drangleic is more linear. You can beat one area and then go to the next, and then go to the next, and then you reach a dead end and have to go back. Then you unlock a new straight path, etc., etc. Majula is at the center of all these branching paths. Sort of like Firelink Shrine in the first game, but it's even more of a hub in the sequel. You can only level up in Majula, as well as upgrade Restus Flex. Your main blacksmith is in this town, and NPCs you meet along your journey end up here as well. There's a few areas that I thought were going to be entire levels, but were just connected pathways between levels. This is especially true in between Majula and its surrounding areas. I felt like these paths get a bit shorter, but don't really serve any purpose. Overall, the map is a bit easier to understand and figure out your next destination because most of the time it's right in front of you. It's easy to get lost in Dark Souls 1 or enter an area you're not supposed to get, but this doesn't really happen in Dark Souls 2. Again, it's a much more streamlined approach that's easy to jump right in and play. Visuals and music. Dark Souls 1 has its fair share of beautiful visuals, and Orlando in particular. Sometimes you'll enter a new area and it'll look nothing like the place you were just in. Each place was unique and memorable, as well as appealing to look at. In Dark Souls 2, I found myself picking my jaw back up off the floor after seeing several very gorgeous pieces of scenery. You can see things far off in the distance across an enormous sea, or gigantic dragons swooping in the sky as you cross a rickety bridge. Even just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel when you finish this tutorial section is breathtaking. That being said, a lot of the areas in Dark Souls 2 seem to just be together. Now, the first game is a little guilty of this too, and both really do have good variety. I just find myself forgetting about some of the areas in the sequel, and every area in the first game sticks out in my mind. Either way, there's no denying that a lot of thought is put into the visuals of each game. Now, maybe it's just me, but I didn't feel like the music stuck out at all in Dark Souls 2. Apart from quiet melodic singing and pounding boss music, I don't remember anything else. A few boss battles stuck out in the first game because the music was very calm, but other than that, both games are a little guilty of not having memorable tunes to go along with the beautiful visuals. Enemies, bosses, and New Game Plus. The bosses and enemies in Dark Souls are arguably what defines the series. I mentioned earlier that I liked how the enemies have their own individual AI, so they would all attack you at once if you let them. Each enemy is different, and there's a wide variety of them in both games. Some of my favorite parts of the series include an enemy I've never encountered before, and trying to figure out the best way to take them down. I've gotten so used to the patterns of enemies in Dark Souls 1 that it was very refreshing to encounter all new villains in the sequel.
You just pick up the My Little Pony toy and it's a
meaning they resemble a human instead of a beast. While there are a few more than in the first game, it's not really that noticeable to me because they all stand out and have their own unique movesets. I was actually more surprised to see some bosses from the first game reprise their roles in the sequel. While they did switch up these fights a little bit, I would have rather seen something new and different. Regardless, there's still countless boss fights that are very memorable. The Executioner's Chariot, for example, has still stuck with me because of how memorable it was. Let me give you a rundown of my thought process during this fight. In the cutscene, you see the Executioner bust into the arena on his speeding chariot, and it zooms in on his face. So of course I think this is the guy we have to take down. The problem is there's no way I can hurt this guy while he's flying around so fast, but I gotta find a way. I look to the right, but it's a cliff, so I guess I have to go to the left. You see the chariot coming around the corner before it gets to you, so you know you have to find a way to hide, and you see these little alcoves all along the way. I quickly jump into one before he blazes past, killing skeletons in the process. There's nowhere else to go, so I continue on this path while ducking into holes occasionally to avoid getting trampled. This would be too easy on its own, so then skeletons start attacking you while you're trying to hide in the alcoves, so you have to be really careful not to be out in the open when the chariot passes by. Eventually, you reach an open gate and a switch. Instinct kicks in, and I realize I have to hold the switch. I do, and wait for the chariot to come by again, and then boom! It busts into the gate and topples over. It's like watching a terrible car crash. I can't look away. Then, as the two-headed horse gets back up, it hits me. The Executioner isn't the boss, it's his actual...
Alright guys, it's going fresh.
Soul memory was its own problem. We get that. We're happy that didn't come along, so we're all praising that. But Dark Souls 2, the one that is restricted outside of soul memory, and of course, you can look yourself out. Why didn't they just do that in Dark Souls 3 instead of fucking Boston Dead? Boston Dead is all online ties in settled. Yeah. All of it as well was just more like gradually for death, and bring the everything was very primitive.
Try not to get very dad, do you?
Well, it's not so massive, it's kind of strange because it does give like a slight punishment for dying. But at the same time, Dark Souls 2, you weren't getting as much in it.
No, not two. Only one. No, get back down there. It's good, Dad.
Hey guys, welcome to Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Jamie. And I'm Alex. And what's the one thing you change about getting a cheaper game? Better graphics, Half-Life 3, all worthwhile, but I'm talking those little bits of shit right to the core.
What the?
That really is to the core.
D-I-S-Q.
Oh!
Are you trying to spell D-I-S-K?
about gaming.
C? Yeah, right. That's right.
Imagine you're playing
Are you trying to show how stupid I am?
What kind of
Yes.
That was scary.
No, I wasn't sure myself.
Okay, I'm imagining.
Go on. It's a nice warm day, the sun is out, and there's also a nice breeze. So you're not sweating like I do when I run home. I'm sweating that champion. Through skill, you dribble the ball past one defender, past a second, you go to score, and the goalkeeper holds everything and produces some Simon Says-style puzzle insisting that you can only score a goal if you manage to tap the lights. That's what quick time events are to games, and now. And you see, if you're a lot of games, the Force Unleashed quote, Just Cause, basically Josie's favourite games. Yes.
I have one more.
Developers can't be asked to let the player rely on skill alone to proceed, but instead they shoehorn in a silly little immersion program as we Then there are the cutscenes that demand you sit up and pay attention like a needy houseplant.
I've never seen a house plants.
Most of the time, a cutscene is there to give the mind a rest after a difficult level while filling in some context and narrative for the gameplay. So imagine my surprise when I turned from the CEO for a rugby piss when I see a failed damn cutscene because while they were talking to each other, someone pulled out a knife on me, and there was a quick time event and I died. Worst of all are the damn boss fights that utterly fail to pull any sense of climax because instead of a test of the skills I've developed throughout the game, I'm forced to fail to climax at all. I'm not saying they're all bad, I'm not saying get rid of them outright, but just cool them a little.
Just think about where you're putting them developers.
Okay, this one requires a little bit of explanation. Go on. It's not that we're opposed to tutorials, as gaming should be open to everyone, and people want to learn, then it's a pretty good thing to have, isn't it?
It's the better Black Ops 3.
What is that? It's like Jenny 2.
He's being forced to go through a tutorial in which we're taught skills we mastered 10, 15, even 20 years ago. Rest of the teacher, you don't say. I was going to sit here for 2 minutes shouting.
Oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. Alert, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. Die, die, die. I swear I hit that guy. Alright, first death.
Worst one, back to the ball.
I just gotta find my way back.
Oh my god. Remember when games were fun? Instead of an exercise in boredom control.
Yeah, villager, I slapped you. Villager abuse. I did villager abuse.
There's only one game I know that actually does the whole
I don't want any mobs to spawn. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And also it's fun.
So I guess what we're saying is, if you do have an answer,
He's not even. Oh, you're right here. You were not there. But
Ourselves, and when we do, we're just told to do the same things we've always done. Namely, move around and point your gun at anything you can die.
do not play on normal mode. It won't end well.
Still, it's better than the cliche waking up from a coma tree. Why, yes, doctor, I can still move my head and look back and forth.
No, zombie. Bad zombie. I'd rather die by a zombie.
Alright guys, picture the scene in Skyrim, right?
His skeleton.
Great day in Skyrim. I've leveled up to the point where I can straight down.
Damien, do not ask me what just happened.
Master of all Tamriel. Yes, no one can take me on.
I'm like not healing.
To escort someone woefully underpowered through a Trogger pit and will fail me if they die. Oh, sounds like a plan. Only except no, it fucking doesn't.
Boss, why not this little shithead go to Eastern upset?
You fucking made the way to me. You can make his way to where he's going, right? It's effectively deciding if you're lucky to progress based on the survival instincts of a programmed AI. Natalia from GoldenEye 64 anyway. She had the survival instincts of a fucking dodo. And it's not even
Why are there so many enemies? Get in the hole. You spawned it. Get in the hole. No, you too.
Those things from Dead Rising. No, you just generally feel while the zombies approach. It's even worse when they moan, whimple, otherwise you generally get on your fucking nerves and sort of fucking break them down and build them back up. I mean, why am I saving your ass again? Actually, Evil 4 is a prime example. No doubt, the English Spanish being full of chainsaw-wielding motherfuckers is just simply terrifying. I get it. However, actively running away from the one man who's trying to save you, that's fucking. What do you guys think? Are we being too harsh? Let us know in the fucking comments. I'm totally so totally right.
More loose and more hunger.
The annual franchise, the Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed this year, the endless bloody climax of Freddy's. That's like 3 a year. It's ridiculous. Every other bit. Yeah, some annual franchise actually work.
Alright.
If when you just FIFA, NBA, they are changing rosters and stats that almost justify the $60
Don't.
each time.
Oh, you came from over here.
You can save them fresh. On Five Nights at Freddy's, did it really?
That's where you came from.
There is such a thing as franchise fatigue, where audiences switch on from their exposure to a product. We look at the reception of Assassin's Creed, it's excellent. The learning seemed like a fun new toy.
We're going this way.
The gameplay was the same tedious parade of tale too late to discover the location of Duke Bean, shoot Duke Bean with a dart to make it start up in epileptic range, killing them to see, rinse, repeat, cash to check. At least they got the message off the syndicate though and elected to take a year off. Albeit filling the year with Watch Dogs 2, but whatever.
Where are you?
Activision never developed and now Infinite Warfare, which made things exciting back in 2010.
Show yourself.
Next to the First World War, when your franchise is old compared to a conflict that took place a
Okay,
century ago,
okay, the spider knows how to show himself.
and remastering old games that we do like and forcing us to buy them again, though, is not a good enough back to the drawing board step. Do it again, do it right. Take a year off if you need to. Or just take one of your fucking 3 studios, go buy the Sledgehammer and say, hey,
Maybe just get rid of all my wooden tools.
and then Infinity War and Trail jack off in terms of balance. Or Sledgehammer do something, and then you guys get I don't know, figure it out.
Right, small message for developers. We know you're proud of the fast
Definitely. Do not need mushroom.
Please stop making us
Oh, look at that! Some gold ore.
and then only letting us
But I can't use it.
And when they force you to do the same thing,
Finish the game! Yeah, I've done it. I want to know about it. One of the great things about sandbox games is the ability to go anywhere and do almost anything. The choice you see is amazing in games. I'm going to take that watchtower.
No, I'm not gonna make some. I'm gonna make some more when I
There's a
have
sense of
left.
liberation to it compared to the linearity of some FPS games. However, when the game is passively mocking you for not having the patience to collect everything, that's where I can confidently tell that game to micro. Sometimes the collectibles make sense and add a sense of narrative, such as
You scared me, mister.
more often than not,
Die!
just filler.
You just-
Sink into which your obsession
You just don't allow it to be hit.
waste
Don't
hours
you?
of your life finding feathers, laptops, or
Oh,
toys, or whatever the
really?
fucking missing thing du jour is.
I didn't want this.
It just gives the impression that while the world is very big and very open, there's not much in it. Filling missions such as The Witcher 3, and you've got an open world that feels limited. This all pales into insignificance, however, when facing the enforced collectibles. You complete bastards, Rocksteady. Batman Arkham Knight should have ended properly when the story did. Instead, I had to dick around for hours after actually saving Gotham because some prick from Mexico wouldn't come out and hold until it got 243 of those fiddly little bastards. Don't do that, because instead of seeing your own with life, you just say, fuck it, close enough, and you end it now.
Beep. I see some freaking. I should probably be eating some.
Now, I know some people try to defend microtransactions as not a big deal. Man, they're only cosmetics, see? Well, that is dog shit, and I'm going to take the next few minutes to explain why. Now, I should state that I'm talking about microtransactions mostly in full-priced games. Not exactly my fucking
Here we go.
Free-to-play games, you're playing for free, and the game's content is an acceptable price to pay. Only just. However, in a game that costs upwards of $60, the idea that there is content gateable for those people with larger pockets is, well, distasteful, disrespectful, and unfucking American. It's not DLC either. It's added extras that enhance the game and is available from day one, but the publishers want to bring out more money from your shaky hands. Then, of course, there's the annoying practice of constantly flogging these items to us while we're playing the game itself. Assassin's Creed Unity did that with the publishers seemingly more anxious for the in-game shop to work more efficiently than the actual game itself. Then you have the games where you solve in-game currency to accomplish tasks quicker than you would otherwise. You know, yes,
Okay.
while technically optional, the microtransactions are put in there to be bought and the game will ultimately
That.
My charger.
Get rid of that.
My charger got stuck.
reduce what you earn or increase the price.
That's been there for a long time, Brad.
Frustration, many will simply open up their wallets. It's also like when Diablo 3 launched. They had that
We
auction.
go and leave.
You get cool items in the
I
game.
think this thing is a high.
Hidden iron.
Yes, look,
Maybe
all of this is a shady fucking
Hidden
practice.
iron, nice.
It's only there to manipulate. Basically, draining your hard-earned cash by inflicting psychological fucking on a customer base that just wanted to play a game that they've already paid for. So, you know, let's move on, guys. Fucking
So those are just
Yep,
some
that
of the
definitely
things
did
we
not
need to
sound
celebrate.
very. Not gonna be.
What do you think? We have loads more, so let's know which others you'd like to add.
And if you're happy to have Jamie back, leave us a like and a sub. Maybe tell Jamie.
And look, guys, much like the
Oh,
quality of
gosh,
this
I
list,
put
if
everything
you
out.
feel like the world is going down the toilet, why not check out our list of 6 scandals in video games?
What the? Heck just happened? He blew up all my iron, didn't he? Actually, he can't. I'm literally using.
sales event. Hey, and there were tons of extras to choose from. Nice. The panoramic sunroof. Nice. U-boat infotainment system. Nice. Surround view monitor. Nice. Take that. Inferno red. Nice. Naughty.
Lease the Aqua LX for $169 a month. Discover the Kia holiday sales event.
This kind of naughty here. Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Alex, and today we don't have a Jamie, unfortunately, because he's taken some time off so that he can focus a bit more on his blues music career, which he really wants to get started. Chris. He's taking some time.
Good, that's good. Follow your dreams.
Jamie seems to be taking a step forward.
But sometimes, just sometimes, it seems that for every step forward, the industry and the community takes 2 steps back.
So in this episode, we're looking at scandals in gaming, the events that pissed everybody off. There are shitloads of them, but we have picked our 6 favorites.
I'm fucking triggered.
Trigger warning!
Today, Mass Effect is perhaps better known for the depth of its storytelling, entertaining gameplay, or disappointing ending. Who you speak to. However, in 2008, according to radio personality, author, and psychologist Cooper Lawrence, Mass Effect was all about sex times.
Psychologists love to say
Especially when they're a psychologist slash radio personality. And according to Cooper, specifically, it was about a man deciding how many women he wants to be with.
Cooper, she just wanted to talk about how many people she wanted to be with.
Yeah, it's like the game, which was rated mature and probably therefore shouldn't have been touched by children or adolescents, was called pornography, and she claimed it featured full-on nudity and sex, where the main character could even choose which positions they wanted. Obviously, for anyone like us who have played the game, this was pure bullshit, but it was evident no one concerned had actually played the game, but just fuck it, do it anyway. Since when has that stopped a good story? Jeff Keighley made a valiant effort to defend Mass Effect, saying that their claims were wrong, that the game doesn't force you into anything and sex is used as a narrative device only. As is often the case, this was mostly ignored so that the network could scream, "Oh, the humanity!" and call video games the greatest evil of our time. Video games, you're the devil.
They love to do that whilst they probably jerk off to like the weird shit in games.
And afterwards, they feel really bad about themselves and they say, "You know what, this is nothing children." This, of course, follows a long line of media hysteria tracing back all the way to the late 80s, where video games were unfairly blamed for everything wrong in society. Naturally, gamers were not pleased about these false claims about Mass Effect, and as such, took to Amazon to exact revenge. So, as Cooper Lawrence had criticized Mass Effect without actually playing the fucker, people returned the favor in kind, posting 1-star reviews on her book without actually reading it. But get this, Josie, she later complained and said that those 1-star reviews were unfair.
No shit, Sherlock. Okay, now, Chris, for 3 decades, purveyor of weirdness, Hideo Kojima was Konami's golden boy. They're ace in the hole.
Wild card, baby.
Ace in the hole's not a secret. Kojima could make a game about a detective turd who had anxiety around dogs, and it would still sell like gangbusters because Kojima was good at his job. Then, for some reason, Konami said to themselves, "You know what? Fuck these cool tactical espionage games. What we need are pachinko machines."
Yeah, Pachinko!
Everyone loves pachinko, right?
Woo!
So naturally, the public went batshit crazy. Now, this may seem like a small spat between 2 parties, but the shadiness behind the falling out made it a major scandal in 2015.
Oh, what happened next, Jones?
I'm glad you asked, Chris. Well, since 2005, Kojima had been focusing on games development with Kojima Studios and had left the busy world of business to Konami. He could do his thing, they could do theirs, everybody was happy. This one dominated Metal Gear Solid 5 and the playable demo PT, and they were both fucking awesome. What could possibly go wrong? In early March 2015, Kojima himself announced that the Phantom Pain would close the Metal Gear series. Around the same time, Konami announced corporate restructuring that didn't seem to include Kojima. By mid-March, Konami quietly removed Kojima Productions and Hideo Kojima's name from all Metal Gear Solid 5 promotional material. Make no mistake, this was still a Kojima game, but Konami wanted his name expunged from all material. Expunged, because that's like when you take a sponge and you excrement it. Rub it until it's gone.
Why did you go there?
Expunged. Despite repeated assurances from Konami that Kojima would remain with the company, pretty much the exact opposite happened. And Kojima said, "Fuck you guys, I'm going home."
Yeah, rightly so.
Damn right. Finally, Konami's lawyers banned Kojima from collecting an award for Metal Gear Solid 5. More recently, Konami showed off Metal Gear Survive, which looks, well, dog shit, let's be honest. And Kojima has distanced himself. Oh my god, Kojima has distanced himself. Kojima has distanced himself. What the fuck?
You got that right though.
No, that wasn't right.
It was.
Yeah, keep putting extras. Kojima has distanced himself from the project. That is not right.
That's correct.
Is that right?
That's right.
Kojima has distanced himself. Kojima has distanced himself from the project, so don't be fooled. It's not a Kojima game at all. Konami's attempts to delete Kojima from his own labour of love and one of the most popular game series of all time is a pretty douchebag thing to do. Hashtag Konami.
Okay, cards on the table. Let's just say that right here and now, if you pre-ordered Arkham Knight on PC before getting a chance to see what it was actually like, well, fuck buddy, that's just not good. Shame on you.
It's on you a little bit.
However, if you peddle a game with pre-orders from the very first trailer, you better fucking make sure that the game works from day one.
I think that's fair.
I mean, yeah, you know, PS4 and Xbox One worked fine, but is it too much to ask as a PC gamer that it fucking works? Come on, guys.
Apparently, yes.
Well, yes, apparently it is, because after almost a month of PC gamers complaining it performed like a tranquilized horse, Warner Brothers pulled it from Steam to fix the many glaring issues, including frame dropping, crashes, graphical glitches, and other shit that, you know, should have been ironed out before release.
It would have been nice, wouldn't
It would have
it?
been nice, right?
Check this shit before we actually sold it to you.
You know, good guys, Warner Brothers offered a full refund for those who bought it before then, so that's fine, right? It's alright. No, of course not. This isn't a case of fairy tale whimsy, this is a tale of dickish game publishers. When Arkham Knight was reintroduced several months down the line, it still didn't perform as required, even after numerous driver updates and, you know, other patches. It was better, yes, but it was still utter Kafka.
So this was designed to speak. Who's got that? Tell me!
Oh, and the fact that they changed the specs a few days before release so they could cover their asses after they had sold maximum pre-orders, that was bullshit too.
Ooh, that is scandalous. That is
But that isn't the biggest move in the whole sorry tale. No, there are some who have accused Warner Brothers of knowing that the PC port was tantamount to fucking fraud. But, you know, they should say anyway.
I think we need a couple of allegedly in the end, Chris. Allegedly fraud.
Allegedly. I'm just going to say allegedly a lot and just drop it. Allegedly. According to one PC port tester, the buggy, incomplete version that we saw was the same one they had
It's only
tested
20
close
minutes
to a
long.
year before. Allegedly.
20
The
minutes
fact
long.
that Warner Brothers withheld PC review
Do you have
copies
your
may have also
YouTube
betrayed
channel where you
the
can
fact
upload
that
more
they
than
knew
15
it
minutes?
sucked and they
That's only
fucked it
movies
up
then.
anyway.
Which is a shame, because it was a great game.
No.
I wouldn't know.
To
Yep.
upload it to YouTube.
So what about you guys? Did you have any issues with Arkham Knight on PC?
I've uploaded
Let us know in the comments down below.
That's
Peter
movie.
Molyneux.
No, it's not.
You can never exactly trust him. Since the
Not.
days of black and
I've
white
uploaded a
Fable
20-minute
and now
video
Goddess, Molyneux has displayed a very consistent pattern.
then
Promised
but I had
the
to,
delivered a lump of cheese.
verify your
At least
YouTube
we're
channel.
ashamed. No jokes.
He did not touch my
Apologise
YouTube
for
channel
him,
at all,
the next game will
dude.
be the moon again, rinse and repeat. Such
They
as
never
it
gave
was
him
for
my
Goddess. In late 2012, Molyneux launched the Kickstarter for The Ultimate.
And no, that's not in movies,
Which would be a
and
reinvention of
they're
a
only
game
got you
first game Populous.
15
There was a
minutes.
general buzz
That
about
is
the game,
YouTube.
and Molyneux said that the initial focus
better
was the
than
PC
count.
version. While a mobile version was in the pipeline, they even went so far as to say the PC version would not be a dumbed-down version. Both would be of sparkling quality.
So far, so good.
There you would have thought they were gamers as well. Here was Peter Molyneux. You could trust their statement, right? They eventually raised just over $500,000 and hopes were high. Unfortunately, what we got in 2013 was a piss poor alpha, minimal updates, a full mobile version that was virtually unrecognizable, and a PC game in perpetual Steam early access.